For the past 4 years, the South Jersey Group 1 Championship Trophy has had a home in Glassboro and Paulsboro. This afternoon, Woodbury visits Pensgrove looking to knock on that door. Each of these teams will vie to host next week's championship game and hope to bust the door in. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner, Sean Leary. Welcome on the Gloucester County Educational Network. We're bringing you high school football action today from Pensgrove High School. Two teams that are a bit of a surprise this year. Pensgrove defeating Glassboro, the defending Group 1 champions earlier in the season. Woodbury with a surprise over Paulsboro. These two teams have surprised, and I think these two teams expect to win the South Jersey Group 1 championship.
Well, and I've never seen it where in Group 1 you've had 4 teams with a legitimate reason why they could win the South Jersey title. This year is an exception. Usually you have Paulsboro, Glassboro. You expect one of those two teams to match up in the final, and against maybe Shalleck or somebody else will sneak in. This year, all 4 seeds really had a chance to get to the finals and win the final. Very different. These two teams already have the winning pedigree of beating Glassboro and Paulsboro earlier in the year. They know they can do it. They come in with a tremendous amount of confidence, and both teams are a physical team. They're both going to smack each other around today.
Last night we had an opportunity to see Paulsboro absolutely manhandle Glassboro. Woodbury, of course, defeated Paulsboro earlier in the year, and Sean, that has to give them a lot of confidence today, and also, should they win today, going into the next week.
Right, but I think Zach Valentine, being a good coach, knows that you can't think about what you've done before. He's looking in this Pensgrove game, and every single game is differently. You may have a weakness on one side of the line, a strength on the other side. It may be different the following week. So he's not going to concentrate on what they did in the past. What he is going to concentrate on is being able to take Pensgrove's physical play and try to turn that against them. Woodbury's going to come out and try to think that they can match up physically with Pensgrove, and they also have the speed on the outside to try to go over top.
For Pensgrove, of course, they defeated the defending champs, Glassboro. And again, they come into this week with a lot of confidence and a decided advantage being able to play at home.
Well, exactly right. And I'll tell you what, it starts with Ken Carr, the coach. He's a guy that really exudes confidence. It goes and filters through the team. And you look at Pensgrove, this is a team coming in after beating Glassboro. They got that little bit of a swagger, in that huddle. And when you have that, you have some young guys that mixes with the veterans on the team. They got that whole mix that gives you a good chemistry.
There may be no more important position in all of sports than quarterback. We'll talk about each of them today. First for Woodbury, it's Brian Purnell.
Yeah, Brian Purnell, this is a guy that has that experience at the quarterback position. He's been in big games, not only just on the field, but also in basketball as well. So he knows what it's like to have this playoff atmosphere, put it on my shoulders, I'm going to take you guys to the promised land type attitude. And what he's able to do, he's got those good running backs, but he'll be able to fire the ball out there. Remember a couple of years ago, he led this team back to a win on his home field. So he has the pedigree, the understanding of what it takes to get it done in playoff time, and that's a guy you really want in these games. You want that leader at the quarterback position.
For years at Pensgrove, it was Aaron Ayward as a running back who has really led this team. This year, it's their quarterback.
Yeah, it's surprising you have a freshman at quarterback, and look at what he's done so far this year. They've switched around a little bit with putting him at running back, putting him at quarterback. They've been mixing it around. But this is a kid, as a freshman, coming in as a freshman, you have that poise, that cockiness about you, so you don't know what it's like. You don't get tensed up, and this is where he's been able to do well this year. It's not, he doesn't feel the pressure right now. This is a kid who can make all the throws for you. He's a smart kid, and he's got that poise, which is rare, but you see it as a freshman because, hey, listen, I have nothing to lose. I'm coming in as a freshman playing varsity football. I should feel a little bit cocky, and you start smelling myself a little bit because, hey, you get the chance to play big-time football as a 9th grader.
Both of these teams boast an impressive array of talent, quite a few athletes on both sides of the football. It's going to be a good one, and we'll have it for you here on the Gloucester County Educational Network. Welcome back to Jim Devonshire Field on the campus of Pensgrove High School. About to get underway. Woodbury has won the toss and elected to receive. Both of these teams vying to host next week, or I should say 2 weeks, championship game. They will take on the Paulsboro Red Raiders. Some Red Raiders players and fans in attendance to see what they have to look forward to. And Sean, last night we saw a devastating win by Paulsboro. I think today's going to be appreciably closer. We'll see. They kick it away. The low line drive taken just inside the 20-yard line, and looking for an opening, still on his feet across the 40-yard line, and finally cut down is Jared Roberts. A good start for the Thundering Herd.
Yeah, Jared Roberts, one of the twins over at Woodbury. A lot of people may remember their name from the South Jersey Group 1 basketball championship last year. They were on that team. Brian Purnell, 6'2", 213, a senior. Very headsy quarterback. Smart with the football, can make all the throws. You see the offensive line there with Jones, Gibson, Page, Gaines, and Gatlin. That's a pretty good line, returning 2 starters from last year. Here's the freshman, Anthony Avery, who has tremendous upside along with the big guy, Karan Gibson, Dyshon Davis, Isaiah Roberts on the outside, Jared Roberts in the backfield.
And a first ball on the ground of the day is fallen on by Brian Purnell. A handoff, and not a good start for Woodbury, but able to maintain possession. You got to believe that both of these teams understand the magnitude of today's game, probably some jitters.
That's right, and you know, the first snap, it's starting to get that timing thing down early on, and this time it's simply just a mistake by Gibson after he gets the football. Runs in the back of his own man. Good pressure up the middle from Pensgrove.
Gibson a load at 255 pounds. They did gain a yard. 2nd and 9. Purnell drops, and he is cut down. Sacked by Pensgrove. A loss of 2 or 3, and that'll bring up a long 3rd down for the Herd.
Anthony Green's going to bring you quickness on the outside. The junior 5'11", 190-pound linebacker does a nice job of being able to get around the tight end that time and pulls down Purnell from the backside. Good job by Green. A good push by that Red Devil defensive line. This is going to bring up a 3rd and long for Woodbury.
They better hurry and get this play off. They're taking a long time. We could see a delay of game.
Hey, he's going to get a flag. Yep, you're right, Rob.
There just seemed to be no urgency whatsoever.
It almost seemed like they wanted it.
Delay a game, offense.
That's Tony Salerno, your referee. George Stillwell is the umpire. Bill Van Schork, your linesman. Anthony Pirelli, the line judge. Jay Stevenson, the back judge. And our clock operator is Dwight Holland.
So we start off for Woodbury, not looking pretty so far on the offensive side. A fumble, they recover it. They have a sack and a penalty.
Purnell out of the shotgun, and right away getting pressure. Purnell on his feet. He's in a host of trouble, and he has cut down a huge loss. And Woodbury continues to go backwards.
Yeah, he had Corey Ransom on that play. He's going to roll out and look for Davis downfield. Green takes a swipe at his leg, not able to get it. I'm sorry, that's Tayshawn Hayward not able to pull him down initially, but a host of Pensgrove Red Devils there to get the 2nd sack of the game.
4th down and 29, and Woodbury will be fortunate enough to get it past the 1st down marker. They do. It's taken at the 35. Pensgrove on the return and tackled at the 44-yard line. The Red Devils will have excellent field position.
How about the start for Woodbury? I mean, that is almost as bad as you can get without turning the ball over.
Which they almost
did. Not a good start. There you see Nick Elmer, freshman, 5'8", 155 pounds, needs to grow into his body a little bit, but his mind's there. I mean, this is a sharp kid. Kemp Carr really likes his poise, likes the way he handles himself in the huddle.
1st and 10. Red Devils out of the shotgun. Elmer, rocket screen, not much doing, and they'll be fortunate to get back to the line of scrimmage. Malcolm Chase, the recipient of the Elmer throw. 2nd down. We'll call it 11.
A lot of these names may also sound familiar. A lot of basketball players coming off the Kemp Carr winter program. Kemp Carr, the coach at Pensgrove for the boys squad. You see Petros Jones, Gibson, and Teddy Johnson on the defensive line with Tyrone Bundy, Gibson, and Jenkins as your linebackers. You have Everett Purnell, Dyshon Davis, and Eric Blackwell in the secondary.
2nd down, and they hand off, and again a big defensive push by Woodbury, and it's going to bring up a long third down for the Red Devils. Just not much doing there for the offense on either side of the football.
You see Tyrone Bundy, a sophomore, 5'8", 170. Bundy, a name that's traveled through Woodbury for years. A number of kids that last name. Rob, there's a, we went into the other semifinal thinking it was going to be a low-scoring, close defensive battle. The thoughts coming into this one, very similar, but I mean, you just never know once you step onto the field what's going to happen.
Elmer throws it up, underthrown, and caught. What a tremendous catch. Maintaining his feet in bounds was Kai Brown. That pass was a little wobbly, but Brown able to pull it down and keep his feet in.
We were impressed with him during the basketball season. Very athletic kid, and just, I mean, this is straight athleticism. Being able to toe the sideline, keep his feet on bounds, and the concentration to haul it in. That is a terrific high school play by a nice-looking sophomore in Kai Brown. I mean, you don't see that type of effort and execution by a high school player, Rob, not at this level.
You know, to win a championship, you need some big plays along the way. That could be a big one, as now the Red Devils with some momentum, but that Woodbury line has held tough. Not much there for Deron Mills. Gibson, the nose tackle. You don't see many nose tackles, number 9.
No, Gibson's a name, just a junior. It seems like he's been around. I know you had mentioned in one of our other games, it seems like some of these kids have been around for 5 or 6 years. And Gibson's one of those kids who played as a freshman, came in at about the same size. I think he's a little more cut up than he is when he started as a 9th grader.
Again, the handoff, and surging forward is Kai Brown. Pickup of maybe 3 or 4 yards, and again, third down here, a key one for the Red Devils. We are in the first quarter of the South Jersey Group 1 semifinals. The winner to host Paulsboro in a couple of weeks. 7:20 and counting in this first quarter. Sean, I think this is the first time we are doing football from Penns Grove.
That's correct. At least covering them on television. Penns Grove moved from the middle school field years ago and put in this nice football field right behind the school. It's nice press box, nice stands.
The handoff, little end around with some room, still on his feet. Into the secondary is Jay Brown, and the Red Devils continue to roll.
Jay Brown, a junior, 5'10", 170, the older brother of Kai Brown. Jay Brown has been switched at some points during the season. He'll play quarterback, will go to running back. Also plays a little free safety on the defensive side of the ball. Very encouraging if you're a Penns Grove fan to see this team move the ball down the field, move the chains. Already impressed with how they started the game defensively. Somebody was in the wrong position. Kemp Carr is going to come out.
Carr calls the timeout with 6:26 left in this first quarter. Again, we mentioned last night that Paulsboro was victorious. There you see Kemp Carr, an 8-1 season, 38-24 career here at Penns Grove. He's done a nice job. Go ahead, Sean.
One of the things that I think that he's done a real nice job is instilling pride back into the program. He's done a really good job, not only in the football season, but also in the basketball season. Penns Grove, for years, there was a lull for about 5 or 10 years where the athletic programs were not reaching the level and the expectations of most people here in this area. Before that, there were some guys that were outstanding athletes and doing some big things here. And it just seemed like it hit a certain period where it just wasn't working for anybody. Zach Valentine on the opposite sideline, 55-28, 8-1 this season. A big win earlier this year against Paulsboro, as we have mentioned. Zach is...
As big as he is, he's got an even bigger personality. He is a lot of fun to be around, always fun to talk to.
And it's not to get lost in that, he's a really good coach. This guy, of course, knows football, playing with the Steelers.
Elmer across the middle, tipped up and caught. In and out of the hands of his receiver, Chase. Chase let that ball get in on him, but still came away with it. A nice throw by Elmer.
This flag was thrown. Watch this throw by Nick Elman. This is a perfect shot right across the middle field. Sets, throws, good form by the freshman. Look at that tight spiral off the pads of Chase, and Chase does the rest there with the concentration after initially maybe being surprised how wide open and how well that pass was executed by Elma.
Face mask.
Face mask. Defense. Decline. First down.
For whatever reason, that's not tacked onto the end of the penalty, or the play, I should say. And officials call timeout. They're going to discuss this.
Kemp Carr wants an explanation too. I think he's trying to figure out why that wasn't tacked on. Temperature you see there. Nice day here in Salem County.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never seen that before. You have a face mask and you don't get a penalty.
That's a face mask. Accepted. First down. Okay.
As long as they get it right. Approaching the 6-minute mark, and Pensgrove is driving here. First and goal. Handoff, and shy of the goal line is Deron Mills.
As you get closer to the goal line, this is where for defenses, you really have to stay at home at your position. The defensive ends have to make sure they don't cheat to the inside. You got to rely on the linebackers, and because the linebackers are pushed up, Rob, that allows your defensive ends to move upfield. They don't feel like they have to cheat inside. Linebackers can fill those gaps a little bit more, but important to stay home for those defensive ends for Woodbury, and they got a couple of good ones. It's going to be difficult for Pensgrove to punch this in.
Second and goal at the 4-yard line. Again, Elmer hands it off, driving forward, but shy of the goal line is Deron Mills. A good push by that Pensgrove line, but still not enough as they inch their way forward. Third down and goal at the 2.
And see, against a team like Woodbury, and even on the opposite side with Pensgrove, you may have to be a little bit more creative because of the personnel that's on the opposite side of the field. Woodbury, very fundamentally sound, will make sure the defensive ends will stay at home. The linebackers are good at filling, so you might need to be creative to punch the ball in.
Inside handoff, driving forward.
Touchdown. Yeah, but I think this is going to be called back. I think there's a hold here that might have opened up a.
Kemp Carr animated in his dislike, and the referees are going to tell him to get to the sideline. Kemp Carr, known for his emotion.
He's an emotional
he's being
guy.
warned because you do not want to get another 15-yard penalty here.
Repeat third down. It's on the snap.
That would not only take him out of being able to score a touchdown, but also kicking a field goal.
Elmer getting his instructions for Carr, or from Carr, excuse me. To use one of your words, Rob, this is going to be appreciably more difficult now with Pensgrove being backed up. But maybe not as much as you think, because now what it'll do is it'll open up the defense a little bit for Pensgrove to operate.
4:38 left, first quarter, scoreless at Pensgrove.
Show your support for the senior class. Visit the concession stand located on the scoreboard side of the field.
Welcome back. Critical third down, and again another penalty flag, and the pass falls incomplete. A little too high, and probably a good thing because Woodbury had that play covered.
Yeah, trying to look for Corey Ransom in the corner of that end zone, and well covered. Maybe lucky the ball was thrown a little bit high because that could have been picked off.
Coverage
It's just
by Woodbury's
sideline.
number 30, but there's no 30 listed on the roster.
That was a sideline warning for Pensgrove. That's just a warning there. So next one will result in a penalty.
So Amir Sorrell will come out and attempt the field goal. This will be 27 yards. And Pensgrove will hope to strike first. Kick is up, and the kick
It's good.
is good.
Sorrell is good.
Well, Sorrell does a nice job. Probably had another good 5 to 7 yards. Give us some insight into his range. And Pensgrove out on top, 3-0.
A nice job by the junior. 5'10", 160 pounds, comes out. Gives the team the lead. Not the lead that Kemp Carr was looking for. He thought he had 6 points. He had the holding call, negates it. But Rob, getting back to that, sometimes you could just play straight up and allow your guys to go man versus man and get the job done. But because the defense now gets sucked in, because you're protecting the goal line, the linebackers can come up, the safeties can come up. Yeah, you might have to be a little bit more creative against certain teams. And I think in this game, down in the red zone, especially near the goal line, I think that's where you have to be a little bit more creative and do some things that maybe you were uncomfortable doing earlier in the year. And that may be that may decide who wins this game, is who becomes more creative given the opportunity in the red zone.
Set away, ball taken inside the 20-yard line. A pause here, and Averett still on his feet. Finally knocked out of bounds. Interesting run back.
Deron Mills. Watch Deron Mills here, number 21, just going to take on 3 guys and just trying to get in their way. That's the wedge. I'm going to try to just get over the wedge or through the wedge any way that I can. Deron Mills, a junior, comes in and gives up his body. That's giving up your body. It's taking one for the team.
Yeah, it's called being the wedge buster. First down and 10. Woodbury had a whole host of problems the first time around. Purnell with Gibson in the backfield. And Dyshawn Davis lines left. Purnell pitches. Averett falls forward, picking up 3 or 4. A generous spot by the referees.
Yeah, this is a kid we've seen his name coming up through the midget and the youth football program at Woodbury, and annual all-star for the Tri-County Midget Football League. You could see he was going to be something special coming in and immediately making an impact here as a freshman.
Second down, we'll call it 5. Purnell hands off. And a pickup of maybe 3 yards by Blackwell, the senior.
But nice job that time by Quan Gibson. And also number 73, James Jones, a senior, 275 pounds on the left side of that line. Kawan Gibson, a senior.
Third down and 1. Woodbury at the 45-yard line. The pitch. Averett is stopped. That hole closed in a hurry.
That was a strange run by Averett because he had plenty of room on either side. If he just makes one cut, he's going to pick up the first down. Watch me, he's going to run right into the defender. Looks like he wanted to say, I'm going to run through you. There's plenty of space to go left or right. And that's where a freshman makes a mistake. You have to realize, okay, I just need 2 yards here. I can throw myself from that point and be able to move the chain. So a mistake by the freshman there, something he'll be able to learn from.
Woodbury forced to punt it once again. Purnell gets it away, end over end punt will bounce at the 22. And that was a dangerous play by the Red Devils as the block downfield almost interrupting the flow of the football. That would have resulted in a fumble.
Now outside of Amir Petros, the junior, 6'4", 190 pounds, trying to hold that block. And Averett just has to do a little bit better job of making up his mind, going right or going left, Rob. But that's a mistake. And when we talked about this a little bit in the other semifinal game, where if you think it's going to be a defensive game, everything's going to be magnified. And if you can move the chains and give your weapons another 4 downs, critical in these type of games.
2:11 remaining in this first quarter. Pensgrove on top 3-0. The handoff. And again, not a whole lot there.
Now, nobody put a hat on Brian Purnell. Purnell, again, 213 pounds, a thick defensive back, cornerback for this Woodbury Herd team. Also, the other side of the ball, the quarterback. Excuse me, he plays safety, does Purnell.
Second down and 8. Inside handoff, again, not a whole lot there. Yards are hard to come by for both of these teams. Approaching a minute remaining.
Big third down here for Woodbury.
End around, and again, nothing doing. Kai Brown taken down, and that'll bring up a 4th down. So Woodbury will have some excellent field position here. Red Devils, as we mentioned earlier, a big win over the defending champion Glassboro Bulldogs that happened back on Halloween.
Interception return toward the end of the game. Big play in that one where it looked like Glassboro was going to go in for a score, but Pensgrove held defensively, and it, again,
bad snap, and the punt is away. That's a fine play by Sorrell. He's been the star of the game so far, the field goal, and really saving
absolutely
the play there by his leaping, pulling it down essentially one-handed and getting the punt off.
Did his Jimmy Rollins impersonation, going up to get that one.
That'll do it for the first quarter of play. It's the South Jersey Group 1 semifinals from Pensgrove, and the Red Raiders hold a 3-point edge. Welcome back to Pensgrove High School. The Red Raiders on top 3-0. We start the second, and Purnell dumps, has Averett across midfield. Averett takes a hit, but not before picking up the first down. Woodbury's first down. It has taken them an entire quarter and 3 series to get there.
Now, I'll give Averett a lot of credit. As a freshman, he's not afraid of contact at all. And we saw that with the play where he's, 3rd and short, tries to initiate the contact right there. Doesn't shy away from it, stays in bounds, takes the hit, and tries to pick up an extra yard or 2 for his team.
First down and 10, and the handoff inside, and it's loose. It's loose. And Pensgrove recovers. Karan Gibson had trouble earlier, and once again, fumbling the football.
Pensgrove looked like they might have put a hat right on the football, and it pops out. And Sean Hayward, the sophomore, 6'1", 300 pounds, was in on the play there. There's a couple of thick bodies down for Pensgrove in the interior part of that defense. That play didn't fool the Pensgrove Red Devils. What Woodbury wanted to do was split out a couple of the linebackers, get them cheating a little bit to the outside, and open things up for Gibson. The defensive line did its job
for the Devils.
First down and 10, Devils. And the handoff again, not much there as Deron Mills is dropped.
Deron Mills will run. Stop at near Petros.
You know what, you're going to have, Rob,
Deshaun Davis.
these teams are both selling out on the run. They're going to make sure that
Second down for the Red Devils.
either one of them is not going to establish a running game in this game. So, you know, you might have to take some chances downfield. We've seen both teams put the ball in the air early on. And both teams with the ability to do it with Purnell and Elmer.
Second down, we'll call it 11. Three running backs for Elmer. Hands off, looking to cut it outside, and again, another loss for the Red Devils. The penetration by the Woodbury defense, not allowing Jay Brown any running room.
Really nice job. And also you saw Deshaun Davis coming in, doing a good job from the backside. You're going to get some help, and Davis able to shed his blocker, come up and make the play.
So another long third down for the Red Devils. 3rd and 11. And again, another timeout burn here by Pensgrove. I believe they have used all of their timeouts already in the first half. Well, we talked before about the big win by the Red Devils. And of course, they started their season taking on Clearview, a school appreciably larger than themselves, and winning that game. And from there, they've coasted. We mentioned last night, and again in the Open, Glassboro and Paulsboro have won the Group 1 each of the last 4 years. Shalleck 2 years prior to that. So Paulsboro trying to get themselves back on top, or one of these two teams trying to put themselves on that graphic. But after defeating Clearview, you knew that Pensgrove was going to have a tremendous amount of confidence, and that certainly was the case, as the next 3 games they outscored their opponents 129 to nothing. That's right, 129 to nothing. Beating Salem 28-0, Shalleck 36-0, and then Wildwood 65 to nothing. 3rd down and 11 for the Red Devils. Elmer out of the shotgun with time, now getting forced. Elmer tucks it inside, and Elmer is cut down from behind. He'll pick up a couple yards, but once again, the Red Devils will be forced to punt it away.
Kind of what we expected, a low-scoring game where yards, first downs are going to be hard to come by. And both teams illustrated that the defense is what got them into the semifinals of Group 1 here. Very quick and speedy to the ball, and also difficult to throw. And there you see, I believe it's Roberts back there.
Don't forget Sorrell had a tough time with the snap last time. Much better here. Sorrell gets it away. It's a line drive, and it'll be taken at the 21-yard line. Now to the 30, finally brought down is Jared Roberts. And Roberts, of course, no stranger to playoff football. He's a senior for these Thundering Herd. 9-10 remaining. You see some of the big guys there, guys in the trenches. That is Sam Harvey, just a freshman, 5'6", 305 pounds.
Tough to move. You know, he'll set up in that nose guard position, go right over top of the center, and talk about the strengths of the defense. Hard to move a guy, 305 pounds, short to the ground, good low center of gravity.
Out of the shotgun, they're going to run a wildcat here, and around the left tackle, not much doing. So interesting is Woodbury does their own spin on the wildcat. Deshaun Davis takes the direct snap, and not a whole lot of success. There is a penalty flag down.
Didn't see anything, might have been after the play.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. 15 yards, first down.
That will drive Kemp Carr crazy. He does not want to see his team give up 15 yards.
I'll give Woodbury
In a game where yards are going to be hard to come by, you don't want to give freebies up.
And it looks like the referees are suggesting that once he was down, they kind of pushed him back down into the ground. So Purnell rolls right. Purnell with some room. Across midfield, Purnell slams his way into Red Raider territory. More than enough for the first down. And again, right now, Pensgrove is kind of flirting with drawing another penalty. They have to draw some discipline here.
They're a physical team. They like to use that size and speed and try to create turnovers. And sometimes it's hard to, with that speed, you're closing in on somebody, but you got to be able to pull up at the right times and make sure that you don't get a stupid penalty called against you. But it is tough at times when you have that much speed, when you're closing in on the ball to hold back.
First down and 10. Again, 3-back set, and Karan Gibson resets. No penalty. Averett strings it outside. Averett is cut down.
Yeah. Kepkar is really upset, and I don't blame him on this one. I don't know how they see Gibson where he didn't reset. It was okay for him to have the initial move up front, but you have to reset. There wasn't another man in motion, so you wouldn't have a legal motion on the play. But you have to be able to come to a complete stop, and it didn't look like he was set yet.
Well, not only does he have to reset, I don't think it was a problem. I think he did reset, but you have to reset for a second. And
well, that's what I mean. Yeah, right. He stopped moving for
second down. A long 7. Purnell, quick drop. Purnell throws it up, and penalty flag here. Malcolm Chase with the pass interference. I think that's a good call.
So do I. I think that one is a good call. Chase looked like he on him, but it looked like he grabbed on him a little early.
He had his back to the play, and Chase just kind of draped all over the receiver. And again, Pensgrove continues to shoot itself in the foot.
Which had his Davis get behind
Pass interference.
Chase.
Defense. First down.
And that's the problem that Dyshon Davis is going to give you. Sometimes he's not going to make the catch. Watch him here. Arm gets right in, and it's a good call. And he comes up on the arms a little early. And the reason is because Davis's speed was able to get by Chase initially.
You can face guard in high school football. However, you can't have your hands on the receiver.
Right, you can't drape your arms over him trying to make the catch and come up, and he hit him early.
First down and 10. Purnell pitches. Has his man Roberts. Roberts swinging it outside. Roberts still on his feet. And he'll be met by 3 Red Devils.
The play just took too long to develop. Again, with the speed that both teams have on defense, you can't have a play go to the sideline for this extended period of time. You're not going to be able to have your blockers hold on to their blocks. Now, doing that, sometimes as a coach, what you'll do is you'll set that play up. Maybe somewhere down the road, you might set up a halfback pass or something off of that play. But knowing that you're not going to be able to really get that play to work well for you.
Second down, we'll call it 3. Purnell. Inside, and again, that Red Devil line holding.
Pensgrove thinks it has the football, and that's Kyle Hickman. Big Kyle Hickman, we haven't mentioned him yet. A senior, 6'1", 275 pounds. You combine him with Big Sam in the middle, it's a lot of man. Then had also Tony Hayward, 6'1", 240 pounds, a senior. Some thick bodies.
Pensgrove leads 3-0 with 5:50 remaining in this first half. And again, we're going to have a timeout here called by Woodbury. We'll step away, 5:44 remaining in the first half. Red Devils on top of the herd, 3-0 in the South Jersey Group 1 semifinals. Welcome back to Jim Devonshire Field on the campus of Penns Grove High School. The pitch, and that's going to be close to a first down. I don't think he got it.
Corey Ransom. Corey Ransom can't believe it. But that was pretty easy to see that he kind of threw himself backward. And he's got to be careful now that he doesn't mouth off too much. Trying to get a penalty on Woodbury. I don't know if you're able to see that, Rob, but that was...
Looked like he got shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, that was some straight theater.
Just like trying to draw the charge.
Big Aaron Hayward fan right there, number 9 out of Rutgers.
4th down and 1. Purnell, hands off, Gibson, forward, Gibson, and more than enough for the first down. Woodbury continuing to drive.
Okay, trying to get behind James Jones on the left side of that line along with Gibson. They've done a nice job today with some success. Going over that left side of the line there, able to pick up the first down.
First down and 10 for the Thundering Herd. We are inside of 4:45 remaining in this first half. 3-0. Sorrell the field goal, a 27-yarder for Penns Grove. That's the difference. Purnell pitches, has his man Roberts. Roberts angling towards the end zone. Roberts! Touchdown!
Touchdown Woodbury. Rated by Jared Roberts.
Jared Roberts with the 14-yard touchdown run. And Woodbury on top 6-3.
Nice run by Roberts and good play call that time. What you're going to do is suck the defenders in and pitch it right at that right time, and Purnell does a nice job with that. Little misdirection in the backfield by Roberts going left just to hold the lineman for a second. And it's difficult. You get them big bodies moving one way, it's difficult to cut back with the speed that Roberts is going to have.
Purnell's point after is no good.
Wide right.
Woodbury has struggled for as long as I can remember on special teams, and that may come back to bite them.
Well, on special teams as far as kicking the ball, they've been pretty good in some areas of special teams, but you're certainly right, they have problems kicking the ball. Watch the little move here. Now you're going to get first going to his left, and that's going to give those big guys that one direction. It's just straight speed here going to the outside. Aver to block downfield. He's able to get into the end zone. Good execution and good creativity by the Woodbury coaching staff there. Little misdirection play. You can't, again, so hard to move the football when you have that speed and size on both defenses. You have to have that little bit of misdirection, a little bit of creativity, open up the playbook a little bit, and Woodbury's able to do that, accounting for a 6-3 lead. 9 plays, 70 yards. Jared Roberts.
Remember that critical 4th down run by Gibson. And right after that, busting into the end zone. Woodbury on top 6-3. Hoping for an all-Colonial Conference final are the Herd.
That drive also aided by 30 yards with the penalties against Penns Grove, personal foul and pass interference.
And now a run back, a lot of room here for Brown. Brown cut down and stopped at about the 35-yard line.
Take a look at Jay Brown. Jay Beach, 5'10", 170 pounds, a junior. They have a lot of returning players, not only for this football team, but also the basketball team as well. You're going to hear a lot about them over the next couple of seasons with Malcolm Chase and the Brown boys. Real good leaders as well when you have guys like Corey Ransom, a senior, and Kyle Hickman along the line, senior along with Hayward.
1st and 10, throwing it deep, and Elmer out throwing his receiver, Malcolm Chase.
They're just trying to go up top with Chase, a real good athlete. That can jump out of the gym. You expect to see that also here on the football field. And, you know, even though it might not be able to connect, it loosens up the defense a little bit. And, you know, you might be able to get a slant that may work now as a result where you have Eric Blackwell thinking about not getting beat on the outside. Helps a little bit more when it works. Again, Kemp Carr.
Second down and 10 for Elmer, the freshman.
A lot of passion comes out of Coach Kemp Carr.
The handoff, and inside, and there's going to be a face mask. That'll be about 15 yards. And allow Pensgrove to pick up a big chunk.
And Ransom here is, when times are tough, you go to some of your emotional, your go-to
Personal
guys.
foul.
Ransom, good cut back
Face
on the
mask
inside.
on the defense.
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, he got it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Looked like he might have grabbed the shoulder pad. If you say he got it, then he got
Personal
it.
foul.
I'm not going to argue with
Face
you.
mask on the defense. First down.
Looks like you got your good eyes on today.
First down and 10. Inside of Woodbury territory. 4:02 remaining. Elmer, quick drop. Elmer looks, slant pattern, knocked down. And again, we mentioned that Elmer is just a freshman, and of course, listed at 5'8". That may be generous.
That time they're trying to set up the play before to loosen things up with Blackwell, go with the slant, but not able to get it over the outstretched arms. It looked like it might have been number 77, the big guy over there for Woodbury on the right side of that line. I believe that's Kyle Gatlin.
Second and 10. Again, three running back set. Elmer hands off, and it's Brown. Brown into the secondary. Brown spins, cut down, first down.
Nice block on the outside by Chase as well. Rob, maybe you don't have your guys. You can see where his hand is, right up on the shoulder pad, not on the face mask.
You got to there.
Yeah, where?
Right there.
Yeah, right there. Where? His hand move? No.
You see it?
Yeah, it's still on his shoulder pad.
Nah,
Thank you, truck.
I think we're going to have to agree to disagree.
What do you mean? It was plain as day.
First down and 10.
You got your bad eyes on.
Right up the gut. And again, a big chunk. Deron Mills.
Good job by Mills and good job by the interior of that offensive line. Big Sam in the middle, Sam Harvey, the freshman, opening up a chunk of that Woodbury defense and allowing Mills pick up the first down, move the chains. You know, I could see how the referees, we have problems seeing it, and I thought it was a face mask on first glance. You can see how the referees could miss something like that where it looks like it was pretty close.
Or not miss it. Handoff. Around the end, towards the end zone. Jay Brown driving and stopped inside the 5.
Jay Brown on the run.
I can see how they can miss that call. I don't see how you can miss the call. We just again, good job now. Pensgrove taking advantage. A little momentum now with that offensive line. These guys like Corey Mills, even out on the outside, picking up some good blocks.
2:50 and counting. First half. Red Devils trying to recapture the lead. Again, three running back set for Elmer. Elmer will hand it off. First one in is untouched. Deron Mills gets it right back.
I love that call. That was point A to point B. Timing on that was perfect. Deron Mills took no time at all to get through that hole. Not dancing in the backfield, not a long play that's going to develop. A quick hitter up the middle and a quick 6. Good job by Coach Kemp Carr and the coaching staff for punching that one in.
So a critical extra point here, 9-6. And the kick is low, and the kick is good. Tucking it just inside that left upright, Amriel Sorrell has had himself a busy first half.
See, watch this one. Not a whole lot of thinking there. And how about the line right there? What a nice job. Tony Hayward, 6'1", 240-pound senior in the middle of that line. closing it off, getting after the linebacker, and Mills scampers into the end zone.
Still a lot of time left in this first half, 2:35. We've seen Purnell air it out, so they're not a one-dimensional team. Zach Valentine and this Thundering Herd would like nothing better than to have a positive return here and make it a short field. It's been a good one thus far. Of course, as we've mentioned, the winner will go on to host the Paulsboro Red Raiders. No surprise to see the Red Raiders in a championship game. Few people expected this to be the other side of the bracket. And Terrell will kick it away.
About having an up man that is Dyshawn Davis. Talk about the speed and the talent on this team. You have Averett and Roberts in the back, Dyshawn, Tyler Jenkins up. Not really anywhere to kick the ball.
Roberts takes that as 11. Roberts biding his time and falls forward to the 26.
It's too slow. You know, again, in this, and that's why the touchdown works so well for you, because it's a quick hitter. You're just allowing your athletes to move and react. When you get them trying to think, and if the play goes too slow, there's too much speed on the field here today to be able to have something like that work. So, you know, it's being able, the one who's going to be successful with the ball in his hands is the one who makes quick decisions and turns upfield in a hurry.
First and 10 from the 26, 2:29 remaining. And Woodbury will come out in a two-receiver set. In motion, Averett. Purnell, quick drop. Averett throws it up, has his man, and it's caught! It's caught inside the 40-yard line. Now shaking a tackle inside the 30, to the 20, and finally cut down. Dyshawn Davis from Purnell.
Corey Mills is going to make a mistake. He gives up on the play thinking the man's going to be down. He's got to finish that tackle off. But how about the pass here by Purnell? Leads Davis. Davis with a real good look back. Already beats his man. Easy concentration to haul that one in. Deron Mills trying to hold on desperately, but then you have Corey Mills who kind of tries to come up and doesn't take the real good angle, and some extra yards put on by Davis.
The pitch, Roberts cuts it inside, Roberts, and he's knocked down at the 10. You talk about someone thinking that they're tackled. Conversely, one more block just getting in the way would have resulted in a touchdown.
Right. And you're kind of sitting there watching, as we are, looking at Davis, both players. And you're right, not only Mills downfield, but also, you know, one more block could have sprung him.
They went to sleep, allowing Corey Mills to catch him from behind. We'll see if that cost them. 2nd down and 4. They are now at the 125 mark. So clock ticking away here in the first half. Purnell pitches. Averett strings it outside. Averett. And brought down. Fine tackle made by Corey Mills.
I'm not a big fan of these calls to the outside. I know it worked for you before with Roberts, but, you know, again, trying to get to the sideline against this personnel on the opposite side of the field, very difficult. They can match the speed. That's a really nice play by Corey Mills, the sophomore coming in, making the tackle.
3rd down and 4. Clock is moving. Woodbury has timeouts. 45 seconds remaining. Purnell out of the shotgun. 2 receivers split right, 1 man split left. Purnell takes the snap. Purnell flushed out. Purnell throws, has his man wide open. It's at the 10. There is a penalty flag down. Penalty flag down on the play. Blackwell, the recipient of the Purnell pass. And we'll see, this will be a critical call with just 28 seconds remaining. There's been quite a few penalties here. And a legal man downfield. This is going to go against Woodbury.
Illegal man downfield against Woodbury.
See Purnell here, and good pressure by Pensgrove. Good pressure that time by Hayward, just trying to get the ball out. And Blackwell comes up with it. There you have. I believe Michael Page might have been a little impatient trying to get downfield.
Illegal man downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
So 28 seconds left. Woodbury still with a couple timeouts here. And the Pensgrove opts to pin him back 5 more yards.
Oh, yeah. You make sure you pin him back, and this way they a little bit more of a difficult time kicking a field goal if it comes to that. 10-6 here. 28 seconds left, so still plenty of time.
And the clock restarts, so Woodbury's going to have to hustle. Inside of 21 seconds now. Purnell fakes the handoff, rolls it outside. Purnell looking for the corner. Purnell cut down, and he is out of bounds with 13 seconds remaining.
Real important that he got out of bounds there. I believe Woodbury's out of timeouts, correct?
No, they have 2.
Oh, okay, never mind. I heard no timeouts left. Maybe I have no timeouts left.
And again, Woodbury with a minimal kicking game. And we go back to that play where one block would have
How many
been
times,
the difference.
How many times do we say that? You know, somebody gets dragged down from behind, somebody makes a play, and good effort can be the result in a team scoring or in this case, possibly not scoring any points.
Purnell out of the shotgun with 13 seconds left. Rolls to his right. Purnell throws it up in the end zone. Caught and dropped. Roberts had 2 men on him, and in and out of his hands, and a huge stop by the Red Raiders will result in a turnover on downs.
And I'll tell you what, Pensgrove almost makes a mistake here. Going for the football, okay, but make sure that you're able to tackle the guy. Roberts stays up on his feet. If he pulls this down, he's in. He's going to be able to turn around and get into the end zone because he didn't lose his footing. Both players went for the football. Once you make sure that you're going for the football, you got to make sure you still tackle the receiver if he does catch it. So Pensgrove gets away with one there. They almost made a big mistake.
For first down and 10, and Pensgrove will drop to a knee with 8 seconds remaining here, and they will head to the locker room quite content with a 10-6 lead. South Jersey Group 1 semifinal from Pensgrove High School. It's a good one, and the Red Raiders hold a 4-point edge over the Thundering Herd.
Woodbury 6.
This guy's got it.
Welcome back to Pensgrove High School, Jim Devonshire Field. 10-6, Pensgrove on top. 3rd quarter about to get underway. Let's take a look at our halftime stats.
Yeah, you had the Red Devils outgaining the Thundering Herd on the ground, 71-28. They had the big play to Dyshon Davis that accounted for a good amount of that 80 yards through the air. Brian Purnell was 3 of 5 for 80 yards passing. Pretty close in the total yardage and first downs. The one turnover by the Herd put on the ground on a fumble. And a couple of costly penalties for both teams.
Purnell kicks it away. Ball stops at the 18-yard line, picked up, and the Red Devils will take the football at the 25-yard line. There you see the play calling. Woodbury with a total of 23 plays and 16 on the ground, relatively close in terms of the ratio.
Yeah, and I think they're good ratios. Both teams not afraid to put the ball in the air, and I think both teams coming in, the game plan was and needed to be that way. Again, good defense is going to try and stop the run. You've got to loosen it up by establishing some type of passing attack.
First series in this second half. Red Devils, Elmer hands it off, and Mills picks up maybe 2 or 3.
Mills in the run, stopped by Tyrone Bundy.
Tyrone Bundy on the stop for Woodbury. So both teams with a number of young players in this game going to gain some serious experience in these playoffs. You see Kemp Carr. Also to his left, LeVar Ledbetter, suffered an MCL over at Rowan University this year. Couldn't play, volunteer assistant here with Pensgrove. Played in 2006.
Brown met almost immediately, now driven backwards. Finally a whistle blows, and they give him forward progress to the line of scrimmage.
Right there, his momentum was stopped. Stopped. You got to blow the whistle a little sooner than that. That's for somebody to come in and hurt somebody's knee. Right here, trying to get through the middle of that Woodbury defense and swallowed by Karan Gibson. And holding him up, holding him up. Momentum stopped. 3rd and long. Bad spot for Pensgrove and the young freshman Nick Elmer.
3rd down for Elmer and the Red Devils. And a penalty flag here.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Offense. Repeat 3rd down.
We saw that earlier in the first half going against Woodbury.
This is where you have to be careful the freshman doesn't make a mistake on 3rd and long. You have the 10-6 lead. You got to call a safe pass play here where you don't want to put Woodbury, who's going to be trying to get after Elmer, put a little pressure on him and allow those linebackers and safeties to come up, try and make an interception. Got to be careful with the young guy.
Elmer rolls to his left, throws over the middle, and in traffic. Intercepted. There's a serious struggle ensuing here. Still no indication.
Going to give the ball to
And it
Tyler
is Woodbury
Jenkins.
football. A big interception here. You mentioned, Sean, about making sure the freshman doesn't make those mistakes. Threw it into traffic, and Woodbury comes away with it.
Well, it doesn't matter if he's a freshman or not. Kent Carr's going to trust him to make a decision, and it's a poor one. There's about 3 Woodbury Thundering Herd defenders around the receiver, and that time you just got to throw the ball away and live to play another down. You put your defense backed up a little bit, and Woodbury with a chance.
Purnell steps up into the pocket. He'll keep, and he'll have enough for the first down. Purnell dropped at the 20-yard line.
You can see I mentioned earlier, Rob, about quick decisions. That's a great quick decision by the quarterback. He immediately sees there's no one on the right side. If he goes through one, he has one guy coming in from the defensive end spot. If he's able to cut to the inside, get to the outside with a quick decision, picks up a first down. Good decision by Purnell. And again, a quick one. Very important at this level of play with the speed of this game to make your decisions very quickly.
Averett in motion. Purnell pitches. Averett a little behind him, has a couple men to beat. He can't do it.
Other than the touchdown, this play has not really worked for Woodbury, and they continue to go backward.
Frankly, Woodbury's been most effective through the air. 2nd down now, and there's a penalty flag. And this is going to go against Woodbury. They're talking to Kemp Carr to see whether or not he wants to take this. It would be 1st down and 15 if he declines it.
Block in the back. Offense. Repeat 1st down.
And so because it happened near the line of scrimmage, it's going to be 1st down and 23.
Going to be hard to overcome getting backed up that far.
Well, Purnell has been successful on those long throws. 4 receivers set right up the middle. And not a whole lot there. That ball almost came loose. Eric Blackwell with the handoff, but there was a lot of football peeking out.
Big taste, Sean Hayward, sophomore, 6'1", 300 pounds. I get a feeling and he's a solid 300 pounds, Rob. There is nothing small about Tayshawn Hayward. He is going to be heavily recruited, I believe, by some Division I programs, especially here in their own backyard. I think he's a
Purnell flushed out of the pocket. Purnell just throws up the jump ball and almost finding his receiver, Dyshawn Davis. Davis just kind of lost sight of his quarterback there.
Yeah, depending on the situation, you have a 2nd and long, and what he's trying to do there, even though he throws on his back foot, you have to think about your decisions. Is it a good decision? Well, you have Dyshawn Davis, who is Syracuse-bound player. He's a Division I player, great size, can go up and get the football, make plays for you. And at 2nd and long, you're taking a shot, really this high risk, high reward, but not as much risk as you would think, being at 2nd and very, very long.
Third down and 20 now. 4 receivers set for the Thundering Herd. Probably 4 down territory. Purnell gets hit just as he throws. He underthrows it, and it's tipped away. Nicely done by Deron Mills.
Absolutely nice play by Mills. The junior coming up, tipping the ball away. Good coverage for Davis downfield. Pensgrove knows that's probably where they're going with the football.
No personal foul.
So 4th down from the 30-yard line.
I know you don't gain much by it. Thought here's, do you punt and try to pin them back near their own goal line, give the chance there, or do you try to pick it up and pick up the first down by maybe they get a penalty or somebody makes a play for you? Tough
4th
decision.
down. Purnell out of the shotgun. Rolls to his right. Purnell stops, and now he's dropped. Well, after the big turnover, Woodbury just shot themselves in the foot with a holding penalty, and it just fell apart from there.
These types of games, it's very difficult to overcome those type of mistakes. You see that so often where you get a holding penalty and it's drive killer.
This has been a very sloppy game today. So many penalties, turnovers galore, and this is not what you want to see from an execution standpoint if you are Zach Valentine or Kemp Carr.
Some things dictate that as well, Rob, and that's the speed of both teams. And poor execution, poor footwork in some of these penalties. And there you're forced to hold if you don't get your feet set.
Mills with the handoff, still on his feet, big hit, laid out by Dyshawn Davis. Pickup of 4 or 5. We'll call it 5. 2nd and 5 for the Red Devils.
Be 2nd and 5 for the Red Devils.
Yeah, this Woodbury team, you mentioned Dyshawn Davis. He's a good, not only is he a good player, good athlete, but he's a good leader on the team where, he sells out for his teammates, and his teammates appreciate and respect that.
Inside a handoff, and not much of a push there from that line. I'll pick up 1 or 2. And a critical 3rd down. You get a sense that Woodbury really needs to hold here. They're probably reeling from that last series. And it'll be interesting to see whether Kemp Carr allows his freshman quarterback to go back to the air. 3rd down and 3, relatively short. Ball spotted at the 41-yard line of the Devils. 6:35 and counting remaining in this 3rd quarter. Elmer, the freshman quarterback, with once again 3 in the backfield. They'll hand it off right up the gut. It's Mills. Cuts it back outside across the 40-yard line. And Mills finally driven out inside the 30. That's a huge play by these Red Devils.
Same play they scored that touchdown. Quick hitter off the left side of that offensive line in a big spot on 3rd down. Well, what you do is you go back to something that's already worked in this game. And that is a huge play for Pensgrove. Woodbury with a chance to stop Pensgrove, get the ball back. You're already down by 4. Not only do you pick up the 1st down there, but a huge gainer. Woodbury's got to dig in here. That time moving down. Still plenty of time here in the 3rd, but with these defenses are playing, you don't get many opportunities. Woodbury already wasted one his last possession.
The handoff, just not much there for Pensgrove's Corey Ransom. This will be interesting. Pensgrove, if they continue to move the football and kick another field goal, it would be a 7-point lead, given the fact that Woodbury does not really have much success kicking extra points. You would think they would probably go for a 2-pointer. I'm looking way ahead here, but it could turn out to be very interesting.
What am I supposed to do while we're doing since you have everything under control?
I'll keep you updated. 2nd down and long. Thanks for being here, Sean.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
But you're absolutely right. There's a lot more football to play. 3 men in the backfield, and this time it's going to be Brown who is dropped deep in his own end. So all this talk about field goals may be for naught. It's a long 3rd down here.
Mir Petros does a good job. 6'4", 490 pounds, great size, breaks through the line. You also have Gibson there. No place to go with the football. Trying to get to the outside. And again, if you can get there, could have a good gainer, but very few and far between that those plays will work here against these opposing defenses. It may have worked throughout the season for you. But you also have to, again, game plan against what the personnel is. Not saying you don't ever try to get to the outside, but it's just difficult to do so.
Ball tipped up and knocked down. I tell you, Elmer had 2 receivers split to his left and only 1 man covering him. Never looked over there. That would have been a big problem as Jay Brown was all by himself.
Well, that play set up for a 3-step and let it go, but the problem is Petros at 6'4". Elmer only 5'8". Big difference there, trying to get the football over the big guy's hands.
It looks like Pensgrove will try to punt it away and pin it deep in the Woodbury end. Of course, one concern is the first snap of the game on Pensgrove's punt was high. Hopefully they've cleaned that up. Sorrell gets it away and punts it. And this looks like it will take a Pensgrove bounce. And then they knock it into the end zone.
Yeah, he had it down once he touches it down at that spot. Woodbury's going to be backed up. See, Woodbury 6-0 on its home field, 2-1 away. Pensgrove 5-1 at home, 3-0 away. I believe they're 16-1 at home over the last 3 seasons.
We have today's 50-50 winning number.
So they're saying the ball is down on the 1 yard line, essentially.
The winner will take home
Yes, they are.
$69. Is a red ticket number 445587. 445587.
Again, Sorrell has pretty much been the player of the game. Tremendous punt here on the 1 yard line. Handoff. Pickup of maybe 1 or 2.
Got to be careful there. Just slipped. Was able to get out of his own end zone, but Averett, the phantom tackle there, getting tripped up.
Be interesting to see if they allow Purnell to go to the air. 3:35 remaining 3rd quarter. Purnell again hands it off, and maybe a yard at most.
Ball came out.
Ball is loose. And they're saying it's 3rd down. Again, Blackwell, we mentioned earlier, had trouble with the exchange.
A little wolfing right now going on. You got to be careful. You don't pick up a cheap one. You have Woodbury backed up. You got to be careful.
Third down and about 9. Purnell under center. Rolls to his right. Purnell dumps. Has his man Gibson. Gibson rolls forward, but he'll be shy of the 1st down.
Nice job by Jay Brown. Not going for the fake there. Staying with his man. Stays with Gibson. Makes the short tackle and going to force Woodbury to punt. You know, you look back at conversely, Pensgrove decides to punt. They pin him deep on their 1 yard line. You could have argued that point earlier with Woodbury being able to punt and pinning Pensgrove back. They choose to go for it on 4th, and I believe it was about 17, 18 yards, and ended up getting a sack. So a huge momentum shift in field position.
That's a good point. Purnell's kick is end over end. Brown takes at his 45-yard line. Excuse me, the Woodbury 45-yard line. 5-yard return. And again, the Red Raiders with excellent field position with 1:49 remaining.
And again, it's easy for us to be able to say something after the fact that it happens, but you know, these things go through any fan's mind. You know, the decisions that either a coach or a player makes, and as fans, that's what we do. We second guess whether we should have done that or done this, and it's kind of what makes sports so great. It allows you to have that conversation about, and that's what we do here in South Jersey. I talked with some people from New York recently, and they were talking politics, and I couldn't really jump into the conversation. I had nothing to say. It's what we do in South. We talk about sports down here.
Did you just say you had nothing to say?
Nothing. I sat there silent.
This is unbelievable. Brown, maybe a yard or two.
They're talking about the Governors.
You wanted to know what that was.
What's their 40 time?
Is that somebody's nickname?
Yeah. Can he hit a curve?
The Nutley Governors.
We don't talk about anything but sports down here. That's what we do, Rob. Maybe I'm kind of shallow that way, but all my friends are as well. So it makes it okay, I guess.
That's right. 2nd down and 9. Inside handoff, and they've been successful with that through the pile. Mills once again, that quick hitter is killing Woodbury.
Yeah, there's something that Pensgrove detected before this game started, coming in with a terrific game plan, if they'd be able to have success with this play, and it's worked every time. For a touchdown, a couple of big plays going to Deron Mills, and some big yardage. That's an explosion on the left side of that line. And look how fast he gets through there, Rob. I mean, there's not even time to react because, again, you're not allowing any time to react for the defense.
Again, the handoff around the far side, angling towards the corner, and cut out is Kai Brown.
Now, Pensgrove's starting to get physical now, and that's something, if they continue to wear down this Woodbury defense, it's not only going to take a toll defensively, but remember, a lot of these guys go two ways, Rob. And play special teams. Don't come off the field. You get kind of tired if you're getting, you get big old Sam Harvey, 305 pounds leaning on you all game. You start to wear down a little bit. We might think we're joking, but it's the truth. You tend to wear out a little bit.
1st and goal, big series for this Woodbury defense. Again, the quick hitter inside, this time shy of the goal line. Again, you get that push from that Pensgrove offensive line. You mentioned they have some big boys up there.
Yeah, go until you stop, until you can stop. Really good games from Tony Hayward, 6'1", 240. Kyle Hickman's had an excellent game, 275 pounds. And Pensgrove going to sprint to the opposite side of the field. They're preparing for this 4th quarter.
We'll step away, 1 quarter remaining. South Jersey Group 1 semifinals. Pensgrove on top of Woodbury, 10-6. Welcome back to Pensgrove. Jim Devonshire Field, Rob Christ along with my longtime partner and friend Sean Leary. 10-6. Pensgrove on top. Critical 2nd down and goal. Inside, driving, and no whistle yet, still driving. Ball comes loose, picked up, it's Averett. No whistle there, Averett is gonna go all the way. Anthony Averett, touchdown.
And Nick Elmer comes up, a little limping here. you know, Rob, all right, there's gonna be an argument. The whistle maybe should have blown. The forward momentum had stopped long before that fumble had occurred. But this is what they've been doing throughout the game. If the officials are consistent, which they have been, I mean, all right, your forward momentum, he's still moving, he's still moving, he's still moving. Now, right here, basically, that's where you would see most times.
Dyshawn Davis pulls it right out of his hands.
That's about as long as I've ever seen somebody being held up where the play would be blown dead.
I tell you what I liked is immediately after the play was over, the quarterback, Elmer, head down, Kempcar rushed out and assured him that, listen, we're not going to worry about this. We're going to win ourselves a football game, and that's what you need from your head coach. So Purnell will attempt the point after. What a change in momentum and complexion of this game. Purnell's kick this time hits the upright.
That's big because that only puts Woodbury up by 2. And we've already said the start of this game so far would have been Sorrell. And I don't want to project the game either.
But, you know, last night in the Haddonfield-West Deptford game, they had a missed extra point. They decided to go for 2 the next time, and then they decided we're going to try this field goal with under 5 seconds left. So you never know. It could be Purnell that comes back and needs to pull a rabbit out of his hat.
Rob, you know what? I can't remember a game as big as this magnitude, right, that has been changed in such an instant. I mean, it looked like Pensgrove at this point in time really was starting to develop where they were going to put this one away. And then they're getting ready to punch it in. And one play totally turns the complexion of what's going on here. You could see, I mean, they sprinted out to the field on 4th down. You know, now they're kind of walking back to the sidelines, a couple of them with their heads down. And a couple guys are starting to get the sideline fired up.
And
the fans are responding.
And that's coming alive. And
they got to wait here.
Referee right out in the middle of the field, Purnell and the herd. A huge momentum burst, and this Pensgrove crowd is trying to reignite their Red Devils. Purnell kicks, low line drive right up the gut to Jay Brown. Brown takes a lot of room here for Brown. He'll angle towards the sideline. Brown, and he's cut down with a good return and good field position for the Red Devils. That's just what the doctor ordered for this Pensgrove team. We'll see how they respond to this adversity.
You know what? So many times you see that as a deflating play, and it's difficult to get that momentum back. I'm impressed right now, and it's, you know, it doesn't really have anything to do with the game, but just by the fans getting back into it. Remember, we did the semifinal last night. As soon as Paulsboro scored, it took the Glassboro crowd, the home crowd, completely out of the game, and they were silent for the rest of the game. Pensgrove fans respond right after a big score, trying to get their team fired up, doing their part, being the 12th man.
So Nick Elmer will hand it off, and again, it's to Ron Mills with the quick hitter, but this time going nowhere. And you mentioned before about the late whistles, and somebody on Pensgrove just threw a punch. I'm not sure if he got away from it. And now a penalty flag. And again, this is where you have to maintain your composure.
See here, and again, the play's still continuing. So this is as the play's continuing. Petros, it looked like maybe it was
right there.
Anthony Green.
You saw that punch right there, but that's actually not the play that was called. There was a punch even after that. And right now, Pensgrove cannot afford to lose their composure, or they're going to lose a lot more than that.
You know, I'm going to, this is what I get paid to do. I got to, you know, the officials got to call
Dead
the
ball.
play dead beforehand.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense.
In my opinion,
Second down.
you're letting the play after the momentum has been stopped. And for as long as I've known football, when the momentum is stopped, that's when you should be calling the play dead. And with that, you know, you're going to get guys who are pushing and shoving and can result in stupid penalties. You don't want that deciding this football game.
Elmer flushed out of the pocket. Elmer in trouble, still on his feet, and he's knocked out of bounds. Kemp Carr not pleased as, again, some Pennsgrove Red Raiders giving Woodbury the business after the whistle. They cannot afford another 15-yard penalty.
I think he misspoke there. He said Red Raiders, Red Devils.
Excuse me, Red Devils.
I'm here for you.
Saw the Red Raiders last night.
You'll be offending people down here in Salem County.
Yeah, you are right. I won't be able to get out of the parking lot. 3rd down.
You're eating them hot dogs, too. You'll be able to get out of the booth.
Elmer hands it off. Here's Brown. Brown on his feet. And a big chunk. But still back to the original line of scrimmage.
Get Malcolm right there next to you. He's about you. Tell me stuff. Yeah, watch the tape.
Right now, things have gotten a little chippy on the field, and you'd hate to see the game be decided for that reason. And for that,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
yeah, and for that reason, you know, I think the referees also have to be a part of that and not wait until momentum's been stopped 3 or 4 seconds after the play's been done and blow the call dead.
On to punt is Sorrell. And Sorrell gets it away. Back to return, backing up is Roberts at the 20. Roberts will string it outside, and he'll be cut down. Not much of a return. And you get a sense right here, Sean, that this next series is going to tell a lot about how this game's going to play out.
You see Pennsgrove's schedule. Big win against Clearview. Now, in years past, that would have got them some significant points, Clearview being a Group 3 school. Not so this year, because Clearview really struggled. That they did extremely well against Salem, Shalleck, and Wildwood. They had the hiccup in the road against Buna, couldn't get the offense going. Wins against Woodstown, who put up a really good fight against them. The big win against Glassboro. How about Gloucester? That was kind of a game we all kind of scratched our heads at 28-21, a win against Gloucester. Sometimes Pennsgrove has played down to the competition, but up to the competition as well over the years, knocking off some teams in this tournament.
Purnell pitches Roberts. He eludes one tackler, but can't beat the next guy.
A nice tackle and good anticipation. Not almost making a mistake is Jay Brown not being able to pull down the ball carrier.
You mentioned before, Sean, that pitch play really has not worked today for Woodbury.
No, and it hasn't. But again, when you've had success through the course of the season, you think you're going to continue to have that type of success. It's just not happening so far today. But one slip on that outside, you have guys that can burn it and go down the sideline in a hurry.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Purnell go to the air here. That's where they've been most successful. And now they're going out of that Wildcat. Davis around the end. Davis pushing forward, and he'll pick up about 5 yards.
Now see, I like that. It's creative. You get Davis with the ball in his hands, a great athlete, going to Syracuse. And there's no pitch and there's no timing effect there. You just get the ball in his hands and let him decide where he's going to go with the football. I like that formation for Woodbury better than the one that they're trying to use with this option, at least against Pennsgrove.
Penalty flag on the field, and this is going to go against Woodbury.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, 2nd down.
So the Red Devils content to continue to back up Woodbury. Inside of 9 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. Clock continuing to move. 12-6. It's been a seesaw battle throughout.
You got Daishon Davis by himself on one side.
Purnell with time. Purnell, he's going to throw it up. Roberts, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by William Cabell. Cabell down the sideline on his feet. Cabell finally knocked out inside the 10.
Knocked out by Larry Gaines. But this ball, and the reason why is the pressure from the defense is going to force the timing off. Hickman's going to force this play to go outside a little further than he wanted. And now you're just going to have guys camping out for the football. Instead of trying to hit him in stride, when you hit him in stride, you have more of a chance of either completing the pass or being able to tip it, and it's an incomplete pass. When you're having guys camp out for the football, there's a greater chance of the interception.
Well, frankly, just Purnell not able to throw the ball that far. His receiver a good 40 yards downfield, and Purnell underthrowing his receiver. Roberts did have a little bit of room,
He had room
on the defender.
with the pressure.
Here comes the handoff. Again, it's Mills, and finally the whistle blows. Pensgrove continuing to hammer that football with Mills. Remember that they have kicked a field goal here, so on third down, it's just second, but on third down, they will likely try to move that ball towards the middle of the field. Big play here, a 2-point edge for the Thundering Herd.
Again, remember, the creativity down here toward the goal line might be important because they're very similar teams going up against one another, and you got the linebackers with the speed and the strength being able to come up and fill those gaps.
Three-man set. Elmer hands it off around the edge. Touchdown! Corey Ransom.
Corey Ransom, one of the leaders of this team. The senior, 5'7", 190 pounds. And it looked like Eric Blackwell, the quarterback, didn't really get a good chance to see where the ball was. Good block by Deron Mills for Pensgrove, but the cornerback wasn't able to come up the play. I don't think he was able to see inside to where that ball was coming.
Score 16-12. And Pensgrove,
They're going to go
off of the turnover, comes roaring right back. Of course, they will go for two here to extend the lead to 6, which would force Woodbury to convert on a point after, which they've been unsuccessful on throughout the day. Again, a handoff here, nothing doing, so a big stop by this Woodbury defense.
It's not going to hurt you there because being up by 5 isn't going to help you. Watch here the block on the outside. I don't think you can see right there, Deron Mills on Blackwell. And Blackwell didn't seem like he really was able to get turned around or even shed the block. It looked like he didn't know where the football was.
.7:47 remaining in this fourth quarter. Group 1 semifinals. Pensgrove on top, 16-12. Welcome back to Pensgrove High School. The kickoff taken by Roberts. Roberts across the 30-yard line. Roberts cut down at the 36. A good return by Jared Roberts. And with 7:37 remaining, Woodbury will have to respond to that Pensgrove touchdown. We mentioned that series may have such magnitude that it will determine the outcome of this game. Little did we know that interception resulting in the Pensgrove touchdown. And there you see the Woodbury schedule. Their lone loss to Haddonfield, who of course is in the Group 2 championship game against a decided favorite, Delsey.
Big one right in the middle of the schedule against Paulsboro there, and you see him put up some points against Overbrook, and of course the big win against Pennsville in the first round of the playoffs.
Purnell calls timeout. Well, whatever Purnell saw that he didn't like, I think it's smart to call a timeout there. Granted, you're burning a timeout in the second half, but the last thing you want to do is create a problem here. You have to get some positive momentum generated if you are Woodbury.
Again, you can see the reasons. Anytime you see teams in the playoffs, you look at that PA, the points against, averaging only 9 points against and 8 points against these defenses all year. Reason why they put themselves in the position, also getting number of points from all their weapons, and these both squads a number of weapons they can rely on. And I think Woodbury might have to do that here. I wouldn't put it on Brian Purnell's shoulders to try and go deep and get the ball downfield. I would now use that where they've tried to be able to go deep and maybe go with some other three-step and throw out some slants.
This is the time when a screen is so effective because you have all of that momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. You're exactly right. This is a great time where a screen could work for you, that middle screen. Because Pensgrove's going to come after it. They're feeling good. They want to make a play defensive.
Handoff right up the middle. And it's Gibson. Gibson bowling his way forward for about 8.
And you don't need to panic if you're Woodbury. You want to pick up big yards on first down. Get yourself in a position now where you can make a couple of different calls. Getting 0, throwing the ball away on first down. Some coaches will panic. Good call by the coaching staff over on the Woodbury sideline.
Second down and short. Again, the handoff, and that'll be enough for the first down.
Aaron Blackwell on the run.
You just move the chains, and that's what you want to do in this situation. Move the chains, forget about the clock. It's not a factor in the game right now. You want to give your weapons another 4 downs to make a play.
85 is out.
Again, inside of 7 minutes here. And as you mentioned, they would like to have a long, protracted drive, eating up clock, culminating in a touchdown.
They might not be afraid to go back to Gibson again.
Purnell, the screen pass, Roberts. And again, Roberts is trying to find the defense instead of finding the football.
Jared Roberts is incomplete. Who's covered by Corey Mills.
Yeah, they've continuously tried to go to the outside. You know, we haven't seen Woodbury try to work the middle of the field through the air.
80's in. 2's out. 5's in.
Now, again, you don't pick up anything on first down. It makes the second down a little bit more pressure on it. You see next week's game, West Depot to Paulsboro. Going to be here, seen here right on the GCEN, Channel 5.
Blackwater, handoff, losing yards, Blackwell.
Sorry, but I just don't see that. It's not working. It hasn't worked throughout the game, and to try to get to the outside, very difficult for these Woodbury ball carriers. And people say if it's not broke, don't fix it. Well, it's broke. So you need to fix it at this point. Going to be 3rd and long. Delsey Williamstown, another big game. Maybe the big game in Gloucester County coming up next week. We're going to have that here on GCEN. Williamstown suffering the defeat in the Group 4 playoffs against Cherokee. Delsey moving on in Group 2.
Interesting set of play calls earlier. Success up the middle, they opt not to go that way. Now Purnell with a lot of time. Purnell still biding time. Purnell throws across the middle, almost picked off. Malcolm Chase in and out of his hands as Purnell throws into double coverage.
I'm surprised he didn't go to Davis. It looked like Davis had plenty of room. They're going to punt now on 4th down. I think this is the wise call. You still have 5:33 left, plenty of time. But I thought he had Davis open, and he did have him along the sidelines if he's able to plant and throw. Purnell's got the arm strength to get it there. He looked there, but I guess he's seen that safety sitting back and didn't feel confident in getting it there. I thought he had the arm strength to do it.
Purnell will punt it away, and he'll punt it towards Brown. Brown will watch it bounce, and it'll take a Woodbury roll down to inside the 20. 1st and 10, Red Raiders. So 5:22 left, and you're going to see a steady diet of handoffs here. Woodbury's going to have to stop them probably after that first series. They do have 2 timeouts left. Maybe can yield 1 first down at the most.
Kemp Carr giving specific instructions to the freshman. The first thing's going to be make sure everything's nice, crisp, and clean.
I'm looking forward to that Williamstown-Delsey game because, of course, we always wonder about the varying groups. Delsey, a Group 2 school going against Williamstown, a Group 4. And off inside, not much there.
Yeah, Delsey's not your typical Group 2 school. And I think they're going to give Williamstown everything that it can handle. Now, remember, Delsey will have something to play for in that Group 2 final the following week. Williamstown now just eyeing that Thanksgiving Day game. It'll be interesting how both teams respond. I don't think Delsey is going to be looking ahead at all. That Thanksgiving Day has been one that I think a lot of people have been looking forward to. Both mayors from the towns had a bet on the game, so it's a big one in the south end of Gloucester County.
Second down. Handoff, Brown, and he's stopped. And again, they continue to try to strip that football.
They try to, and I'm sorry, Rob, but they try to strip the football, but you got to make sure you bring him down first. You know, he gets another 2 or 3 yards on second down, and it makes his third down that much shorter with 4:18. You want the turnover and downs. If you get the fumble, that's great for you, but you got to make sure you get the man down. Sorry, Rob.
Remember, Purnell burned a timeout on the last series to start things, so Woodbury just with 2 timeouts, third down. Call it a short 3. 3-man backfield once again, as they've shown throughout the afternoon. Right up the middle, Mills, and he looks like he will have enough for the first down.
Now that's not broke. I mean, that play has worked a number of times. Deron Mills putting the ball in his hands has worked for this Penns Grove offense.
Woodbury opts not to call timeout. Clock continues to move.
So look at the line. Look at the job by the offensive line. Springing Deron Mills for the first down. Again, Hickman, Hayward, Harvey.
1st and 10, the handoff. And again, a big pickup here.
Huge pickup.
Kai Brown.
You know, you get a second and short. It's almost better than picking up the first down, Rob, because this could result in another extra play or two where you can run off some time in a second and short yardage.
You're going to have to load up the box if you're Woodbury, as we're inside of 3 minutes now. Clock continuing to move. Thundering Herd with 2 timeouts.
2 hands on the ball!
Do you dare go with a play fake and try to throw over the top and hit Malcolm Chase?
No. Handoff. Cuts it inside, first down. And the Red Devils, Corey Ransom, picks up a chunk. It'll be interesting to see when Woodbury uses these timeouts.
I think they have to start doing it.
Clock moving, 2:30. And Penns Grove is going to try to use every bit of it. Handoff, nothing doing.
We'll call timeout here. We'll burn one of them. 2:01 left.
Timeout, White.
Well, Woodbury next week will play Gateway, their traditional rival, and Gateway's new head coach, Mike Karp, have had a struggle, have not won a game. And Woodbury has owned that rivalry traditionally. They'll, of course, hope to host the Red Raiders. If not, next week will be their last game against the Gators. And Penns Grove against their traditional rival, Pennsville.
So got a chance to see Ryan Wood, head coach for Pennsville, and he's done a terrific job as a football coach. To no surprise what he's done with the baseball program over the years. He did give that job up a couple of seasons ago, but he's just a premier coach in South Jersey, and not a lot of people know probably about Ryan Wood. Friends with Chris Widger, the Pennsville product who played with the White Sox, played on that World Series squad.
Second down, and not much here. Whistle blows, and we'll see if Woodbury calls that timeout. They do. 1:51 left. So you got to believe Pensgrove will put it on the ground here. That'll be the last timeout for the Herd. Again, that was a costly timeout earlier that they used, but you certainly can't blame them. And that will probably result in Woodbury getting the ball with about a minute left. And Purnell has shown that he is adept via the air. Of course, that's going on the assumption that Woodbury can stop him here.
Right, and yeah, that's exactly right. You got to have the stop first and maintain the concentration with each play. And it's going to be difficult to matriculate the ball downfield with this Pensgrove defense. Played extremely well today. A couple of hiccups. Remember, the one touchdown we had in this half was via fumble return. So Pensgrove has been very stingy defensively, and something we expected. You got to give Pensgrove credit as well, and again, the crowd, the fans, everybody here. Coach Kemp Carr, after giving up that fumble return for a touchdown, they immediately responded with the crowd getting back into the game. They took it downfield and was able to go up ahead on top of Woodbury.
The pitch strung outside, and do they throw him out of bounds? Yes. That is a huge play. Wow. They decide to run that to the outside, and that saves probably 45 seconds.
A good amount of time. I think that was a mistake there with going to the outside, but not only that, I wasn't too sure if he got out of bounds.
Yeah, I think.
Now I'm trying to get on the referees because it's a hard job. We're talking about that in the halftime. It's not easy. It's easy for us to see everything up here after the fact, but maybe had a tough game today.
Sorrell to punt it away. Roberts running towards the sideline. Roberts still down, 40-yard line. Nice return by Roberts. 60 yards for history.
We've seen Purnell in this situation before 2 years ago against Gloucester. Brought the Thundering Herd back in that game. Coming in, Spelling, starting quarterback at that time. Sort of made a name for himself that day. He's been the starting quarterback since. He's going to get the opportunity here to bring this team back. Still plenty of time, 1:31, and he does have the strength and the weapons to get it down the field.
First down and 10, Herd. Roberts in motion. Purnell drops back to pass, throws. Has his man, it's caught. And knocked out of bounds is Woodbury's number 5, Eric Blackwell.
It's a great play call. Great execution by Purnell and Blackwell to not only get 8 yards on the play, bring up a second and short, but also stop the clock at 1:23.
Just a reminder to you, Sean, and our audience, the clock does stop after a first down in high school football. So they get a first down here, they can regroup and continue to move the football without losing time from the clock. Purnell out of the shotgun with Gibson in the backfield. Purnell, quick throw, has Davis. Davis on his feet, and he'll fall down. And it looks like he falls out of bounds. First down. They're playing that kind of bend but don't break defense. And at some point, they're going to tighten that up. But again, the clock, the ally of Pensgrove, 77 seconds remaining in this football game. 44 yards to go for the Thundering Herd.
Well, if they're giving it to you, you just keep taking it. If that's what the defense is going to give you, those little out patterns, it's going to stop the clock and you can get down in position.
Purnell again working out of the shotgun with Gibson in the backfield. Averett gets off the field. Purnell throws it up, and it's caught with his feet inbound.
Absolutely, what a terrific catch. We saw that earlier by Pensgrove. This time you have Isaiah Roberts who gets the feet down.
It looked like that should have been a penalty because they had 12 men in the huddle. I don't think that's legal in high school football, despite the fact that Averett got off in time. Pensgrove calls timeout, and Kemp Carr is going to give the referees the business. Well, Woodbury
how about
at the 17-yard line.
How about the execution by Roberts being able to keep his feet inbounds, corral the football, and get it down. We've seen that twice in this game. Terrific athletic plays on both sides. Right now, Pensgrove just has to keep the emotions in check.
A minute 9. Those are a long 17 yards for the Thundering Herd. Plenty of time, a minute 9 remaining. Remember that the Herd does not have any timeouts.
They have some big targets. Again, with Davis, Roberts. He still could, I mean, you have plenty of time. You can still run the football with Gibson. Don't rule that out as well. Give everyone spread out.
Purnell rolls left. Purnell with some time and room. Continues with the football and runs out of bounds. And now a late hit. A late hit. And Pensgrove.
And a late flag as well.
Is just starting to fall apart.
Again, you have to keep your emotions in check, and it's not happening. Good decisions have to be made late in these games. It wasn't a good decision along the sideline. You don't want to give the refs, the guys in stripes, an opportunity to make a call against you.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Half the distance.
Take a look at this. Purnell trying to get to the outside.
I don't think you can make that call.
That's a bad call. I'm sorry, it's a bad call.
If Purnell turns that back inside, it's a touchdown.
Absolutely
you cannot make that call.
That was ticky-tack. You're in a Group 1 semifinal game with two teams who have played their hearts out, and that's a bad call. I'm sorry.
That's a tough penalty to take. You cannot fault Corey Ransom. If he pulls up on that, Purnell turns it up and scores a touchdown. Nonetheless, you have to play the hand that's dealt. First down and 10. And Kemp Carr undoubtedly not pleased with what's transpired over the last 2 plays.
And listen, it's easy, again, it's easy for us to make calls up here after we've seen it. But here's what my opinion is. I think the referees have been played too much of a decided factor in this game. You have the momentum stop down there. You don't make the call, and Woodbury turns it into a touchdown on the opposite way. That's a huge call in this game, a huge play in this game. That resulted into an effect of what a referee's non-call there. We had earlier, we looked at halftime. There was a hold actually on Pensgrove. They called it a face mask. I know that right there you could call a hold on so many different things, on so many plays. You know, the face mask, you can oversee that. This on the sideline, inexcusable by the guys in stripes.
First and goal, 9-yard line, Woodbury. 3 receivers set, Purnell with Gibson in the backfield.
And listen, I'm not one of them guys who like to beat up on the refs. Everyone's entitled to a bad game. Not everyone has a perfect play out there. Everyone makes mistakes on that field, including the guys in stripes.
Purnell, he's going to roll to his right. Purnell getting flushed. Purnell throws underneath. Caught! Touchdown! Isaiah Roberts from Purnell. With 55.8 seconds left.
We've seen Brian Purnell in this situation before.
And now a penalty flag is going to go against Woodbury for an excessive celebration.
Zach Valentine trying to get his team under control.
We'll see whether they attempt the point after or go for 2 here. I believe that they have the option of taking it now or on the kickoff, so that could play a huge role in the outcome. Remember that should they not convert here,
unsportsmanlike conduct, they're going to take it on the kickoff. They're going to take it on the kickoff,
and you're going to gain some ground there. And remember, there's some athletes on this Pensgrove side of the ball where they can make plays happen. Stupid penalty by Woodbury. I know you're excited and you want to celebrate coming back in a game, but you still have a minute left.
This is a huge point after for Purnell. 0 for 2. He's hoping the third time is the charm. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So a field goal will tie it for the Red Devils. We could be a long way from over here, Sean.
You know, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but you have to say, you know, you had a good drive by Purnell, and the referees also picked up 15 yards as well. And just not the best day. Not the best day for the guys making the calls down on the field. Brian Purnell again rolling out. You have Roberts. Corrals that ball in. I'd like to see that from the side if he actually had both feet in, but you have man stripes right there, able to get a good look.
Ball will be kicked off from the 25-yard line of the Thundering Herd, and that is a big, big difference. 6 plays, 60 yards, 56 seconds, 55.8 remaining. And again, Roberts from Purnell. The special teams unit of Pensgrove, quite talented. Brown and Mills back at their own 30-yard line. Purnell to kick it away. It's a low line drive, and it's going to find Brown. Brown approaching midfield, and Brown inside of Woodbury territory.
And again, because of a stupid penalty and just not maintaining your composure, you want to say that you know that you belong in this. And I know it's easy. Now that's being easier said than done because you're so excited. The excessive celebration is difficult to control and temper if you're Woodbury. But that was a costly penalty. Now with Pensgrove starting with plenty of time, 50 seconds on Woodbury's side of the field.
First down and 10, Red Devils. I'm just going to stick with the Devils, I think. 49.5, 19-16. It's gone back and forth all afternoon. Scoring started via a Amir Sorrell field goal. And right now, an Amir Sorrell field goal needed to tie things. A touchdown wins it for Pensgrove. First and 10. In motion, it's Kai Brown. Quick pass to Brown. Brown to the sideline, and he dives out of bounds to stop the clock.
And everyone's entitled to a bad game, Rob. I mean, I admittedly had a bad game in the semifinal. Told our producer yesterday, I said, yeah, I was terrible in that Paulsboro-Glassboro game. Just didn't have my game face on.
Really?
Yeah, I admit it.
What do you
should apologize to all the viewers. Just didn't have it. Fumbling my words.
Second down. We'll call it 7. 45 seconds remaining.
They can still work the middle of the field as well, Rob.
Trips right. Elmer back to pass. Elmer flushed out. Elmer loses the football. Mills picks it up. He loses the football. It's down on the ground. And now whistle blows.
Pensgrove's going to recover it. They're going to have to burn a timeout here. 30 seconds left.
And that is their last timeout.
It's timeout. Pensgrove. That's their final timeout.
Remember, Pensgrove burned a couple timeouts during that defensive series. Again, you know, Purnell burned a timeout on that one series. You can't blame him. I couldn't blame Kemp Carr for using those timeouts. He really needed to get his team together to get their composure. Of course, he'd love to have him back now, knowing the outcome. But again, you can't fault him for taking those timeouts earlier.
No way.
.3 left. Ball spotted at midfield. Sorrell's range probably about 30 yards or so. That means they would have to get down to somewhere between the 10 and 15-yard line. Remember, the clock stops on a first down. Elmer back to pass. Elmer throws it up. It's a jump ball. Tipped up. Almost taken away. A good effort there by Malcolm Chase. And it's come down to this, 4th down and 15 for the Red Devils.
As you mentioned, after a first down, the clock would stop. So if they're able to pick it up, we'll stop momentarily. I'm sure Kemp Carr right now giving 2 plays to his quarterback. I'm sure he did that during the timeout as well.
Kind of understand the thinking there in terms of going for the home run ball, because if you don't get the first down, by the time they line up again, they're going to have very little time. They'd have to get a first down there, and if they did that, probably wouldn't be able to get another play off. So Elmer, again, a long throw into the teeth of the defense, falls incomplete.
Nice effort by Chase, wanting the flag. He's not going to get it. And Woodbury's going to move on to face Paulsboro in the Group 1 final, a rematch of a game earlier this year. Woodbury knocking off the Red Raiders 28-14 earlier this season. They're going to get a chance to try and do so for a second time. And right now, Kemp Carr is giving it to the officials.
One more snap needed from Woodbury.
Dead ball. Personal misconduct. White. Your first down.
Well, penalty's starting to even up here when, frankly, it doesn't matter.
Hey, George. Goes for right here. We set the chains, 15 yards.
He's ordering George around.
Yeah, I tell you, if you are a Pennsgrove player, coach, or fan, you have to come away from this game just so frustrated.
Oh yeah, with a bad taste in the mouth. And
dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, excessive
Rob, I'm not a big
celebration
excuses guy.
against White.
I think you
It'll be
you
first
really
down.
determine your fate on the field, and I still think that happened here today. You still had opportunities and didn't capitalize on that at times, but I could understand where there'd be some frustrations from Pennsgrove, and I've always been a guy who's kind of backed referees. It's a hard job. It's a difficult job for those guys down on the field. It's just they didn't have a good day, in my opinion.
They like to call this the victory formation, and that's exactly how it will end. Woodbury will separate from Pennsgrove, and that will end things.
You got some kids who are hot on that Pennsgrove huddle.
Well, that will end things here as Pennsgrove is, it is Woodbury victorious by the score of 19-16. A game marred by turnovers, penalties, and now emotions. As Kemp Carr directing traffic out there, you can understand the frustration of this Pennsgrove football team, and many players just frankly stunned.
And I got to give the Pennsgrove coaching staff, including Kemp Carr, a lot of credit going out there and making sure nothing happened, because it looked like they were starting to see something where Pennsgrove kids wanted to go over and start some problems. And a nice job by Kemp Carr dispelling that right away.
Stick around, Zach Valentine and the rest of the stars of the game from Woodbury will be with our own Sean Leary in just a moment. Welcome back to Penns Grove High School's Jim Devonshire Field. Woodbury victorious 19-16 over Penns Grove in one of the most controversial, if not craziest, games that we've had in a long time. Gloucester County Educational Network bringing you high school football semifinal game, and now it's going to be Woodbury hosting Paulsboro, a Colonial Conference matchup. Of course, Woodbury was victorious the last two times those teams met. But first, let's talk about this game, a crazy one that saw Woodbury come back from deficits throughout the afternoon. Sean Leary has some of the guys that made it happen down on the field. Sean?
And thank you, Robin. It's something special about this group because we're starting to, it's commonplace we interview you guys after games. Winning the South Jersey Group 1 title last year on basketball, and now these guys are able to pull off a comeback win, and a terrific comeback win. Jared, what a game. I mean, this is a seesaw game. We thought it would be a defensive struggle, but your emotions after the game, just assess what happened for us.
Oh, definitely. We kept fighting. It was hard, but we pulled it out and just kept working hard at it, kept fighting, got the win.
You see your quarterback, he seems like he thrives in this when the pressure's on him. What can you tell me about his poise in that situation?
No, he's just a great player. He just keeps his head. He gets a little excited at times, but he brings it right back together, and just keeps it going.
Well, congratulations to you. Good luck this week with Thanksgiving. And also, of course, big game coming up against Paulsboro in a couple of weeks. Paulsboro is going to want a little revenge, right? You guys know that. Now you can start focusing on Gateway and Paulsboro. Just give us a little bit on Paulsboro, because that's going to be a tough game.
You know that's going to be the best matchup of the whole season. Rematch, we beat them the first time. They're looking for revenge. They want to get us.
Mm-hmm. Number 2 was called at the end of the game to try and make that touchdown. That's probably one of your proudest moments.
Yeah, it was. It was probably better than winning Group 1 championship for basketball, too.
Hey, you have Coach sitting over there. I'd keep that kind of low. Keep that kind of low. Keep the volume down on that one. How about the touchdown? Assess what happened to play. Tell me what you saw there.
Purnell in the huddle told me to come back to the pylon, and I heard him, and I seen that it was open, so I just ran my route hard, stuck my stick, and the defender was on my back, but I knew I had to make the catch. I knew it was going to be a big catch.
Thanks again. Terrific catch. Terrific win for you guys. And Dyshon, you're put in a spot where you have to get down the field in a hurry. They call your number a couple times along the sidelines. You have that, seems like to me, a calming influence. Do you use that as a vocal leader and just try to calm everybody down in that situation?
Yes, I just had to let my team know that the game is not over until the clock says 0-0. I mean, that's how you just keep fighting, scratching, biting to the end. I mean, I will put these boys up against anybody. I love every last single one of them. And I has no doubt in my mind that I knew that we had a chance to win this when that clock was 1 minute and 20 seconds, even when they had the ball. So I just told my team, don't give up. We're still in this. The game is not over.
You had a big play in this game. Let's forget about what happened at the end of the game, but that big strip that you had toward the end of the goal, they had them everything. The momentum was on their side. Yeah. You come, the play's not stopped, and you rip the ball out. Tell me about that play.
That's one thing about me. I got a nose for the ball, and it's more about the ball. It's not about the tackle. So I seen that the ball, I could have stripped it out, and the last game we had, I stripped the quarterback out, but the refs called it a touchdown. And I knew they was going to do a quarterback sneak, and I seen the ball, and I stripped him out. I was going to run with it, but my freshman Anthony Everett picked it up and ran it back. So hands down for that, and I thank my teammates. So I'm just thankful for that.
Congratulations to you, and a terrific leader for this Woodbury team. And one of the leaders in this team, the quarterback, Brian Purnell. What a great drive. It seems like you like these situations. A little, give you a little bit of a deficit and allow you to come back in a football game.
Yeah, I've been here before with the Gloucester game 2 years ago as a sophomore, but I mean it makes my job a lot easier when you got the best 2 basketball players in South Jersey that they can jump with anybody, and then you got my best friend on the left side, going to Syracuse, the best wide receiver in South Jersey. It makes my job a whole lot easier.
You're selling that out of bounds call, right? Where you wanted that 15 extra yards.
Yeah, I mean they got a lot of calls, a lot of face mask calls, a lot of calls in the early part of the game. So I really wanted that call at the end. I felt like I was a little bit out. I think he went for my helmet. But the whole game, their coach was just saying, hit the quarterback, and finally he hit me out of bounds a little late.
give you a chance to say something nice about Pennsgrove, because they came in here and fought hard. This is a tough team when you come down here in Salem County, isn't it?
I mean, it's a real good team. I mean, we're building a rivalry. Every year we're starting to see each other. And they're huge up front. You know, they dominate the line for the most part of the game. But, you know, later in the game, they couldn't play with our speed. I knew that sooner or later our speed was going to show. And you saw with the last drive, guys were just getting open, and the line was just holding up just enough. And guys just made plays.
Tell me about that one last throw down to Roberts.
The coach came in the huddle. He said, you know, run a 5 route, and you know, I told him, you know, to extend it a little bit and come right back to that pylon. I'm gonna hit you there. And you know, he ran a great route. He had 2 guys actually on him, and I put it a little bit out front. He dove, caught it, and it was a great play. Great play.
Well, great comeback again by you. It seems like these situations, you start to shine a little bit brighter. And, Rob, what a terrific win for Woodbury. Another outstanding job, and I still have a chance to get Coach in here. Just give him – oh, what's this, a shirt? Nice, nice. Come on in, Coach. I have Zach Valentine, and I appreciate you coming in. I know that you were trying to restore some order here. There's some angry fans who you want to just get your kids on the bus.
Yes, that's what we want to do. You know, the game is over, and you know, we want to get our kids on the bus and get out of here. You know, what was done, you know, an exciting game, good high school football game. And I'm just glad that we came out on the end of being winners today.
Mm-hmm. Coach, you know, we get in the officiating. I know you don't want to get into that. But this is a game where 2 teams came into this game heavily prepared for it, a tough Group 1 battle. And I know you don't want to say anything about the referees, but you want it to be decided on the field anyway, right?
That's the way football should be. You know, a call here and there, you may question a call. I try to be as calm as I can to the officials because they're doing their job, and the best we can do is put the players out there, and hopefully they go out there and do what you ask them to do.
This game, I mean, can you expect anything less from a Woodbury playoff game where you come down to the final seconds and you have your quarterback be able to make a play for you? Tell me about that one play. I mean, it's a terrific throw by him.
That's a great catch. That's what counts. You know, the throw can be there, but the catch has to be there also. I thought Mr. Roberts did a fantastic job of receiving the ball and catching it. Brian had a great throw on it, and it's just right before that, Blackwell did a tremendous job of keeping the drive going. But I have to look at this as a team situation, a team effort. You know, he had to have the blocking there, and the line did a fantastic job of blocking then. But the thing is, it's a team effort, it's team credit. I'm just happy that we came out of here the way we did.
Terrific win for you guys. Now you get ready for Gateway, but there's Paulsboro down the road. A rematch. You know they're going to be coming out for a little bit of revenge. I know you got a chance to see them against Glassbauer. How tough is that team, and how much work do you guys have ahead of you?
There's no secret about Paulsboro. You know, they're a very well coached and very good disciplined football team. The thing we have to do is go out and play the way we can, and try to get turnovers and try to score as much as we can. But right now, the thing is getting back home, getting ready for Gateway. You know, we have an opportunity now to win the conference outright, and that's what we're looking at. And we'll take care of the other things.
Number 3 versus number 4. This is probably the deepest Group 1 has been, where you could have picked any one of these out of a hat and said this is your champion. Probably one of the deepest fields you've seen in Group 1.
For a while, it has been. You know, the thing is that anybody could win this thing. Again, it's when you're playing well, and that's what's going to win it. As long as you're playing well and you outscore your opponent, you're going to be victorious.
Coach, as always, classy act. Classy act, and of course Woodbury with a terrific win. And I thought Coach Carr was very classy coming over there, congratulating and making sure that nothing happened. Again, Coach, good luck to you this week, and have a great Thanksgiving. Back to you, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Coach Valentine, victorious. He's had himself quite a season once again. And, you know, Sean and I had an opportunity to talk to Brian Purnell. We talked at the outset that the quarterback is going to make a difference, and Brian Purnell certainly did. He maintained his composure throughout the game, played a critical role in special teams, on defense, but most importantly, leading that final drive. Woodbury victorious on their way to the South Jersey Group 1 championship game, a rematch against Paulsboro, that game in a couple of weeks at Woodbury. The final score from Jim Devonshire Field. Woodbury 19, Pennsgrove 16. For my partner, Sean Larry, my director, Stan Ritter, I'm Rob Christ. Thanks for joining us on the Gloucester County Educational Network. Good night, everybody.